time to get into the nitty-gritty of the Visual Composer. So a couple of things to note, is the different options that you have within here, right? So obviously it looks very crazy, it looks nuts, but let's break it down. So very first thing that we have over here is adding a new element. So that's to add something new. So for example, we want to add a row. You do that so you can actually put in a text block in there or something else. You also have different templates that I had created in the past. So for example, you had home with the ABC program, home summer camp, stuff like that. So actually what I do with this, and the reason why I even use this, is to kind of save stuff as a backup. So what I'm actually going to do right now is I'm actually going to save this as a template. So I'm going to go ahead and put in CGES old, or maybe let's put 2016, and that's it. Save template. So now I've saved that, and if I wanted to have all the same info in there, I can do that. So this is just to expand it into full screen. I don't really like to do that. Let's see, if I wanted to put custom CSS, obviously you guys don't need to do that. And so finally then we have getting into rows and sections. So for example, this whole item here would be a single row, and notice that it's only one column in this particular case. Sometimes you'll see that there is a row and there's columns within it. And so the way to modify that is by going ahead and putting your mouse over here, and if I wanted to make it 2, I click on 2, and notice how now all of a sudden I have a whole other section on this side, and all the information is going to be shifted on this one. So let's actually take a look at what that's doing. So I just clicked on the update, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. And so the things that should have moved are going to be this custom font. So it says January 10th, June 1st, 2017, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So let's see, we have, January 10th, June 1st, 2017, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And notice that it's all in one element there. And so this is one of those elements that you can kind of put in. So for example, if I were to put in another custom font, I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus button here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to look up custom font since I don't see it. See, there it is right there. But if I didn't do that, if I were to just go through this, I would probably find it. There it is, custom font. So when I click on that, it'll give me the options for what do I want for the custom font. In this particular case, I just knew what I wanted. So for example, I knew that I wanted Museo Slab as the font family. Actually very important to actually put it in caps and the exact spacing. Font size, I knew I wanted 32, and that's in pixels. Line height, I want it to be a little bit higher than usual, so not just auto. If I want the font to be normal or italic. Now slab, Museo Slab is already kind of a bolded font, so no need for that. And text align, I could say left, center, right, whatever font weight I want. Font weight is actually how big does it get. So in this case, I actually had it 500, and you can go 100, 200, 300, stick it to the hundreds. And if it doesn't show that the font is getting thicker, it's because that particular weight doesn't exist. So in this particular case, I had put 500. Color, I put this specific code. Again, I could just also choose this and just kind of choose a color. So I can actually change the hues and stuff like that. Do I want it more saturated? And I can choose between colors. In my case, I had picked this this plainish color, I believe. So let's actually, if I wanted to, I can also just put it in as the code. So I'm going to put 58595B. And so there it is. I have the grayish color with sort of a bluish hue. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Save Changes there. Actually, I needed to put content. I needed to scroll down even more. So that was, let's see where it left off. Okay, color, if I wanted to change text. So there's a lot of different options here. I think for most part, I didn't really change much of this. But let's just look through them anyway. So text decorator, you have to do underline, overline, line through. So if you want to line over it, you want to line under it. a line through it, you can. Text transform, if I want to make it uppercase, lowercase, or just capitalize the first letter of each word, it will. Text shadow, do I want it to show a shadow or not? And if I say yes, I believe other options also show up below. If not, then the text shadow can actually be modified in the select options in fonts. So in this case, I'm going to say no. If I want letter spacing, maybe a little bit of space between each letter, or maybe I'll put 2 pixels. Actually, I just got to put a value. Background color, if I want a color in the background of that, so let's just make it, really obnoxious yellow. The padding is going to be what sort of, how much spaces are going to be from the color to the actual text. And the margin kind of does something similar, and it's in the same format as this. But you guys don't really have to worry about that, no need. And so finally we have content. I can put in whatever content. So I'm going to click on Save Changes, and let's go ahead and add this to this other side over here. Notice I can drag and drop. There's a specific spot where you can drag. I can't just drag it. Oh, well, actually, I guess I can. I can drag it from just there and drag it from there. Usually, I like to do it from there just to make sure that it works. If I wanted to edit this, I click on this, edit custom font. If I wanted to duplicate this, I can just press that and it'll clone it. So I'm actually just going to delete those right now. And so, then I also have below this, I have a bit of empty space. Let me actually put this back to single column because I like it centered. That's what I have it as. Or at least I have it, I believe, within here. So I had gone ahead and actually put in content, and I had pressed this center button. But if I wanted to, I don't have to, and I can just put, let's see, text align, center, save changes. And although it appears like it's left there, it is not. It is going to be centered. But just for the sake of my sanity, I'm just going to put it back, just so it looks better, back here. And I have a little empty space section here. I like to put some empty space between elements. And I kind of did it by multiples of either 16 or 8 pixels. So it's a round, even number. I don't like to use 5s because you could have 15 pixels and it's not good for mobile to do that. And then I also have the separator, which is the little line that kind of goes through, or this little green line here. So I can make it a different type, what color it's supposed to be, what position does it go, left, right. Don't worry about inherit, you don't need that. How thick do I want it, or the width rather in this particular case, and maybe I just want instead 50 pixels, right? So let me try 50 pixels. Again, thickness is the same, top margin, measuring unit in pixels. I don't like percentages for top margin. Yeah, it's just a personal preference. Percentages, if I put 100%, it'll be like the whole page. So pixels is just better. It's the unit of measurement to use. So I'm going to click on Save Changes. So basically nothing changes there, except now let's actually change the date. So to change the date, obviously just put in whatever dates that you wanted to do. So in this particular case, let me see what dates we needed. So it looks like August 28th. Wow, we're running behind. To November 3rd, and this is obviously the third or the first season, 2017, and it's actually going to be every day or weekdays. So I'm just going to put weekdays. Weekdays, Monday to Friday. Alright, go save changes. So we changed that text. Now I also have to change the types of the class that it is. So in this kinder section, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put pre-K like that. First grade, so 3 to 5 year olds. Yeah, okay, so I guess it stays the same. I'll just leave that as beginner's level. save those changes. Notice that it changes Kinder, right? Keeping that same image, keeping the same amount of space, and then finally we have to say what are the prices. So for this, it's going to be, so this is actually in a table. You guys don't see that, but this is the HTML code that you put in for a table. So in this case, we're doing 1 time a week for the pre-K, 350s. Okay, great. I don't know the number of sessions, but I'm just going to kind of leave that the way that it is. But it looks like the prices are correct. 700, 900. The only other thing that I have to do is increase the amount of table elements we have. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the text, and I'm going to go ahead and copy from this TRTD, let's see, like that. So notice I have an open TR, I have TD, close TD, TD, close TD. So this is a table column. So this is one column, this is the second column, and again then this is actually ending that table row. So this is that second table row as opposed to table column. So anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this to create some new columns, and I'm going to do it before that closing T body. And let's see, so it's going to be 4 times a week, and just for continuity's sake I'm going to put 80, and for the price I'm going to put the right price, which is going to be 1100. Okay, and I'm going to do that again, copy paste. I'm going to put 5 times a week, and I'm going to go ahead and put 1200. And let's go ahead and change this to 100 sessions. That's a lot of sessions. $12 per session? That's probably not right. So we're going to need some clarifications on there. So I'm going to change that, save it. Okay, so now I have that, and I'm going to click on update. And it looks like the last thing I got to change is also the times of those of that class, because I believe it's from 2 p.m. Let's see, 2 p.m. I have the email here, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and change this time here by clicking on there, scrolling all the way down, finding that text, and just putting 3 p.m. Save changes. Again, I'm going to press update. I'm going to leave all these empty spaces the same, just for continuity's sake. And note that in here I also have the 3 columns. So I made sure it's actually a column within the columns. So I have a row, a custom one here. Then I have 1/12 plus 11/12. The 1/12 just has that image in there. And then the rest of the 11/12 is separated with these 3. So I have 3 columns within the 11/12 for this section alone. And the reason why I have this empty space here is because on mobile there was no space between the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 to 3 p.m. and this table. So definitely needed the space. So after that, after it reads these 3 columns, then it goes into this empty space for putting space between the different grade levels. So that's how you change the content of the grade level. If I want to change the image or this image here, I would go ahead and just click on this, and I can change the image as I like. In this particular case, I added this tennis ball image, and I made sure that the size got no bigger than 45 by 45 because that's what looked best. I left all of this the same. Technically, I can put the image alignment as center, which is probably best for mobile anyway. So I'm going to click on save those changes and click on update, and let's take a look at what happened in the front. So I'm letting it load, do its thing. Okay, now I'm going to refresh this page. So now that I've refreshed that page, I have the right dates, I have the right grade level, pre-K to, actually that's probably not, so according to my email it says kinder to first grade, but then according to the flyer it is pre-K to first grade. So I'm going to go with the flyer, pre-K to first grade, and just leave it at that. Times are there, everything seems to be correct here. Um, so yeah, that seems to do it justice. Now I would just have to do that same thing for the rest of these. Oh, and then to add team tenant or add kids clinic. So the way that I would do that is actually very simple. So instead of having to like redo all of this stuff and like have to do that again, I can actually duplicate this whole row. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to just click on this button, and it's going to duplicate exactly the same things that I have above it. So the only thing I would have to do is kind of change the image, change the ages, the names, and all that, and obviously the rates and whatnot. This register button can stay the same because it is simply a link that actually just leads down to here, which as you can see with that. And the way that I made that happen is by giving this area a sort of code. So when I click on this here, this row settings, I give it a specific, let's see, it should have a specific row ID somewhere. I believe maybe it's actually here. Design options, no. Okay, well, I'll get back to that. But I did that through something pretty simple. Okay, also to change links on this page, it's very simple. I'm going to click on this text block here because actually this waiver has to change. I would just click on it, and you see we have this pencil kind of showing up here. I click on edit. Very important to click the pencil. And once I'm done changing this link, I'm going to click on apply here. So let me go ahead and actually, while doing this video, it's already a long video, I apologize, but actually, you know what, I'll do it in a separate video. But this is how to change text, how to change an image, very easy. Next video I'll go over how to change the hero images as well. So the hero images are the ones at the very top here, for example. So I'll go over how to change that, as well as maybe adding these full width images that I had on some of the other pages. I guess not on this page. And then changing the links of these particular items here. All right.